indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Struck.
Here.
Linden.
Here.
Ingram. Marini.
Here?
Breakovic. Longer.
Here.
Carrico.
Here.
McCain.
Here.
Schwartz.
Here.
Mott.
Here.
Can I get a motion to excuse Molly and Diane?
So moved.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All right, all in favor? Aye. Approval of agenda, is there any additions we
Yeah,
want?
could we add to new business, just a review of the park walkthrough?
Can I get a motion?
I'll move to approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I get approval of the minutes from the April 21st, 2025 meeting?
Couple of changes or things to note,
Okay.
just at the header, there's no W for the top there for Wolverine Lake.
Yeah.
The only reason I cite that is because when people logging in, look at it online and seeing it. And then on page 3 of 5, item E, the last line, it says Michigan schools and police officers
Yeah, these are
will be
the-
present, it should say Michigan
Minutes,
schools
the preliminary to-
and government credit union and police officers. will be
Okay.
present. Just making sure that our sponsor gets
So we have to add government credit union, did you say?
No,
Michigan
it's the-
schools and government
Oh,
credit union.
good
Yeah.
point. And also the date says 2024.
Yeah, that too.
Oh,
Good catch.
I will make a motion with the modifications to the minutes.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
I just wanted to make sure she was.
Yeah, it's part of the package they send. They had that many at their document.
Are you good?
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I have no chairperson report or communications to the board. See that there is no call to public. We will move on to new business, park walkthrough.
So I just wanted, before I send anything off to the upstairs, just to see if anybody, what stood out to anybody of the most important things that we want to get addressed by our DPW or ordering of things that we might need to order. Big things I had for me were the fence caps for the guards on the pickleball side and on the hockey side.
And the fence on the west side of the
And on
pickleball court.
Yeah, the pickleball, and then also the baseball one that is on the field C or A, I can't remember which, the furthest away.
Right, but I'm not talking fence
Yeah, yeah.
caps, I'm talking the fence itself. There's no fence on the west side of the
Oh,
courts.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But the balls are constantly, I play there, and the balls
Yeah.
are constantly bouncing out into
That's-
the grass there.
There'll be a little more to it, but yeah.
And then we talked about a bench there, because oftentimes you have an extra player, and while they're sitting out, there's no place to sit.
Yeah, because over on the basketball side, there is a bench in the basketball area.
Right, and we don't want it in the area, because the courts are so small, but
Sure.
next to it, because, yeah, like, a lot of times we'll have an extra player or two, and while they're sitting out a game, they need a place to sit. and
Yeah.
There's nothing now, so.
I feel like there's a good spot in between the hockey and the pickleball on that west side.
There's that little
That
alcove
corner, yeah.
kind of place, yeah.
And then there's a good spot on the other side between the basketball and the pickleball, you know,
The-
right
the
outside
gray
each
spot.
of them. Or
The
what is it?
non-painted spot, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was thinking
I'd say
more
get
one on the
for
grass,
each.
on the west side of the
Yeah.
pickleball courts, in the
Yeah.
grass area, but.
I mean, for now, I think before we order a bench, we can just drag a picnic
Yeah,
table
well, yeah.
over, and then when we do another capital spend, we can get a real, something.
A real
real
bench,
and-
yeah.
Maybe get somebody who wants to donate it to or dedicate it or something like that. But was there anything else that we saw that we thought was urgent or for the DPW to do?
Take out the stagecoach.
You can ask for
I'm
that.
sorry.
I'm
Oh, I
not.
think
I
that's a
had
little
to.
controversy.
I'm not taking that one
If I
on.
remember right.
Yes.
Oh, I hear people all
That is
over
on the
the
list.
train watching
I'm just
live.
joking.
We're gonna have it installed in
I know,
front of your
but
house.
like-
We're gonna give everybody your address too, but that's
Is
the
it,
other.
is it, don't I
Yeah.
hear the phones ringing right now?
Say that again.
They're all calling.
Oh, yeah.
I hear it, I hear it.
But then I also had like the bad boards on the wooden benches or the
Yeah, I
wooden
agree.
runners on the
That's-
benches.
That's immediate concern. Yeah.
Then a lot of the dead trees that we've got running through there, there's quite a few of them that are starting to show, well, a couple that are just outright dead.
Right.
And then a few that are, probably need some more trimming and cutting back.
Are these the evergreen trees?
No,
It varies from tree to tree.
okay.
So,
but they did a big survey
Yeah, we
last
did
year
a-
of all the trees.
we had a
and
tree
tagged all the
survey
ones that
done.
should be removed.
And we had the Davy Tree Service did that and set aside, said, I think it was about a dozen trees that were, if at most, it was that needed to go. And then there was several that needed a hard pruning, and those were the priority. And I think we got through most, if not all of those. So now it might just be that, and who knows, in 2 years' time, they've gotten, some of these have, are starting to show more
Oh,
wear.
so they've cut down the ones that were
I
tagged for
think
cutting?
so. I mean, I know, because we've cut down quite a few. DPW's either when they, if they're able to do it themselves, they do, or if they can contract out, they contract out, depending on the tree, the size of it and so forth, and where it is, because some are easier than
It
to
looked
do.
like there were 2 or 3 of them cut down right on Ben Street,
Yeah.
right in front of Clara Miller.
Yeah, they had been marked for a while, so yeah.
So
And
that
then they
must have been
did,
county then?
and then they did a couple along the walking path as well, where the residential side is on Connecticut, the Connecticut side of the park. So, yeah, they did do quite a bit of that, but there's definitely some of the more of the central part of the park, like with BMX, the
Right.
tennis courts are and all
Yeah.
that. And then over, even in the Vital Trail area, there's a couple that are looking pretty gone. So just, I'll cite those as well.
The trash can over by the.
Trash can for BMX, yep, thank you.
There was that giant rust spot on the climbing lattice near the old slide and the old merry-go-round. It was
I mean,
near the bottom.
Yeah, that's, there's not a lot we can do about it, but, yeah,
Like weld.
it's something to
Yeah,
know.
I don't know if we can,
Yeah.
like, spot weld or.
At this point, it's probably too rusty.
Yeah,
I
look,
don't
throw
know if they'll like
something on
weaken
it.
At
it
that point,
more.
you can, they could, use Bondo to seal it up.
Bondo.
JB
some-
weld,
At least
Yeah.
seal it,
Yeah.
at minimum seal it, just because there is that hole that you
Rocket
can
ship.
pretty
Okay.
much
Well,
stick
maybe
your
get cut
finger.
on it.
Exactly, yeah, because I can already imagine a kid
Ugh,
sticking their finger in
tetanus.
And then
Yep.
can't get it back out.
and then can't get it back out, and they, yeah, and then they get cut on it.
We did have somebody,
Thanks for the deeds.
talk to me about Armenia Park, and there's, they said they love everything there, that
Mhm.
it's looking wonderful. But the bench that's there is in the sun all the time, and it's metal, so no one can ever sit on
hmm,
That's a game.
it.
That's what it's for.
So
You have to
perhaps
bring your own
they could-
Okay,
newspaper.
we look
I
at
don't know how
Armenia
it's
bench.
attached, or maybe it's just DPW can look at that to see if maybe just move it over to a shaded area.
or plant a shade tree.
There are some trees there, it just, you just have to move.
Yeah, that was a donated bench somebody had, had in her backyard in memory of her daughter or something like that and wanted to put it in the park, and so, but I don't know, I've not really looked at where it is, but you'll
Yeah,
have
I
to.
didn't either, it was just.
Yeah, no, absolutely, we can, I'm certain that's an easy fix. Yeah, so anything that else anybody's got for me to highlight as a
The
priority?
older rocking horses
Yeah,
probably need to be removed just because of the metal poles that
Yeah.
stick out on the side.
Yeah, they really.
Um,
So,
Yeah, those are probably immediate just because of the impalement hazard. But the newer ones that are made of plastic, those of course can stay.
I think more broadly with the rockers, because the newer ones are starting to break because they're plastic. The handle's broken on one of them, the
Yeah.
back end of it's broken or cracked. Is looking more broadly at
Getting new rockers.
getting new
in
ones and
general.
where we want to put them, kind of thing. Like,
right.
let's get them, because right now there's 2 over here, there's 1 here on its lonesome, and there's 1 trying to pull the stagecoach.
Yeah.
So.
Maybe remove the metal ones for now, and
Yeah.
then while we have the plastic ones, look at replacing them
Yeah.
with something more current.
And then this old slide as well needs to be removed, the old metal slide that's corroding at the base
Yes.
as well, yeah.
That, tic-tac-toe stand-up game that's way in the corner over there, is that worth moving? Is to,
If it's, depending on what it's in. I mean, if it's
Yeah.
if it's in concrete.
it's just, it never gets used
It's-
over there. and
I mean, yeah,
I've
it's
seen
one of
kids
these
use
where,
it,
I've seen
yeah.
kids use it, but it is one of those things where,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's way
Again,
too far.
everything is so separated, and this is, it's spread out, and this is why, we want to shrink that footprint, so it's easier for a parent to police them and everything else. So, yeah, I wonder if we can move the tic-tac-toe.
Can we put power, the power washing on there, because I feel like that's something easy.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Good call.
I mean, who am I to say if it's easy or not, but it seems like it wouldn't be that.
Can DPW also look at buffing out the more obscene drawings and doodles on some of the structures, on the plastic parts?
Obscenities, et cetera.
New stuff, is it?
No, not
on
yet.
the new stuff, thankfully. I did look. It's not on the new stuff, it's all on the old stuff,
Yeah, I feel
which is
like
still
it's
terrible,
easy.
but
Yeah, it just came in.
What's it like with the markers?
Usually it's scratched in with like a
Oh.
key.
Scratched in.
Yeah.
So it's not something you can just
Yeah.
paint over. You gotta actually buff it out with sandpaper or something.
And there was a dead tree at the new playground too, if I recall.
Yes,
Right,
there was.
Which isn't so much for them, it's more of, can we call the installer and say, hey,
Right.
this thing's died in less than a year. And generally, they have a year at least
Yep.
in warranty on them. So. Okay. Anything else? That stuck out? I got a whole bunch of other stuff, but I just want, I'm gonna throw on the list, but it's gonna be
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
here's your A priority list and
All right.
things like that.
Oh, sounds good.
All right,
Yeah.
cool, thank you.
Continuing business, A, park master plan.
Survey should be going out right after Memorial Day,
Oh,
is what it looks like. So we were able to review it, those of us on the board there, the subcommittee, I should say, and so that should be ready to go. Looks like Chris has got everything in order. I thought it looked pretty good, and I liked the new maps, the updated maps that he used for the pads. I thought they were much easier to read.
Yeah, and I
So,
clicked through this, the
Yeah,
test
yeah.
one, and never, all the links worked and everything, so
Yeah,
it
I did
functions.
I did it on my phone and on my laptop, just so I could see if, sometimes the phone won't work or whatever, and it seemed to work fine, so
Yeah.
hopefully, when people get to it, but if we do ever have, like, when we share it and we post it, if we get complaints that something's not working, we can always let Chris know, and he can attempt to fix it in time, so that we can
Cool.
keep it moving.
Anything else?
That's it.
Okay. 5K race. It says here release funds. Did we release funds?
Diane didn't think so, and I don't think so,
No.
so.
Because, let's see, we got to pay the race timer and then the shirts.
It's the shirts, the only thing,
I
the race
thought
guy
we did
is
too.
actually the one collecting the money, so he's already,
Oh, so he takes his cut
Self-paid.
out of
Yeah.
what he collects, okay.
yeah. But for the shirts and things, even though, yeah, we just.
And then
did
that,
release.
I think that's most of the expense. I mean, or
And
there's the
then
kids,
Food and candy
it's
or what
not in
have
here.
you.
the kids goodie bags
Yeah.
and medals.
Yeah. So I think, yeah,
But we've already paid for all that stuff.
I'm assuming we've paid for it, so this is gonna be a retroactive kind of reimbursement.
Okay,
kind of
so
structure.
I don't hear any need to release any funds then.
But I think we do, we should release, so
Yeah,
she's
I
gotta
don't
pay for
see-
the
I don't-
T-shirts.
I thought we did, but I don't see it. on
Yeah,
this
that's
one.
why, Diane called me and said
Yeah,
that we
yeah.
hadn't, so.
no, it's just
So
says
like
that.
$500 or something, just to be on the safe side.
I can't remember what she said.
Since the race chip, since the chip guy's not involved,
Oh, okay.
See, and nothing
I'll
was
just,
said about
I would
that.
suggest something just.
Okay, because yeah, she said she ordered 57
Maybe she
shirts, I
wants
think,
that
Yeah.
instead
so.
of coffee and donuts.
But I still
Yeah.
thought I
So, yeah,
seen
let- yeah, that-
coffee and
that should more than cover it,
something
so.
on here.
I did too.
It's on her list, but it's, what I'm saying, it wasn't, I mean, not on the new list. It was on the minutes.
Got
Yes,
it.
so I'm saying maybe she's changing it to the snow cone somehow.
Yeah, I don't know. And
Yeah.
Bonnie's never even done the popcorn machine, so I don't know why. Someone's gonna need help right here.
And we'll need
That's
to
Mark's special.
buy,
Yeah.
we need to buy ice the
Not
day
sure.
of for snow cones.
But Mark's not gonna be
Yeah,
here.
and you're not calling me to figure, there is written
What do
out
you mean
instructions
you're
there.
not gonna be
They're
here?
Molly laminated.
For the
so
snow cone machine or
No,
to
for
turn
the-
the electric on?
If you can't do it on the electric, yeah, that
I
would be the
remember
one.
to get
I think Diane knows
ice.
how to turn on the electric.
Okay.
It's the bottom 4 on one side and the bottom 2 on the other that are off. You just turn those all on and you're good to go.
And that's in that little
In the
lock?
closet,
Okay.
yeah. And just don't turn off anything that's already on, because that could be the well.
Okay. So 4 on the right, 4 on the left?
It's 4 and 2.
Okay.
That's what- I think it's 2 on the right and 4 on the left.
Okay, so we need a motion to release funds then?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to release $750 funds to support the 5K race.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Struck,
Say yes. Approved?
Lehman,
Yes.
Giromini,
Yes.
Longbridge,
Yes.
McCain,
Yes.
I skipped Jericho,
Yes.
Schwartz,
Yes.
and Monk.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know if there was anything else.
Then just the event planning for the 5K, I mean, Diane sent out the
Yeah.
email, we know what to do.
Yeah.
This isn't our first race, so.
It is mine.
Do we have
So I'm in
some
charge of,
Oh,
No,
wait, or the year before?
no, we've never done it.
is there any?
No, we never have, so this,
planning
that
or
was brand
more
new to
detailed
me.
correspondence
So that's what I was
between now
saying,
and
that
The morning of?
she brought up coffee.
Diane will tell you what to
and
do.
donuts,
It's basically
and then she
Just
did
show
take
up,
the machine
with
out,
popcorn
put
stuff.
some bubble
That's what
juice
I
in
said
it,
in her-
and put it somewhere
in
and
the-
plug it in.
Someone mentioned ice,
Yes.
is that,
Did
you
it
have
say
that
donuts and-
responsibility?
No, nothing.
Yeah,
Oh,
Kathy
so
will
just
usually get that
something.
or somebody else.
Yeah, we do snow cones.
That's new.
Snow
That's
cone
that's fine.
machines.
They have them.
A spring garage sale?
It's on, advertising is up, and deadline's May 27th to get on the list.
We don't know how many.
Not yet, no, I haven't checked.
Farmer's market?
I've been in contact with a lot of vendors, talked to, been getting, some have already signed up for the year, some are signing up for a day, for the first time, or for a couple times, depending. But, and I'll show you more of what I've been working on.
Approximately how many, Mark, so far?
I think I've got two I know that signed up for the full season, have already paid. And then I'm at about 10 that I've got their applications in, and I got a bunch they know, it's like, oh, I'll get it to you.
Oh,
Either when I see them on
interesting.
Wednesday.
That's nice.
Or what have you. I've got a baker already, which was good to get, because they're always hit or miss. Was talking to a couple new people this morning that I've known from other markets or were at our corn roast. So that expressed interest, got a jeweler and things like that as well. So pretty good array already of variety. And then a couple like direct sales folk that want to give out quotes for gutters or whatever. And I'm like, hey, they want to pay.
Whatever, yeah.
That works for me.
Is there a deadline when they have to get their application in by?
Depends on when they want to do the
Oh,
event,
okay.
like the day. Like if you want to, so the deadline structure is like if they want to payment is just before the market starts that day. If they want to do for the season, they just have to
Yeah,
get it in before
okay.
the season starts. And a lot of them are going, hey, is it okay if I come to a couple and then if it works out for me, I'll sign up for the season. Yeah, that's fine. I'm trying to be flexible.
Tuesdays in the park.
We're all set, I've checked all the supplies, we have plenty now for the first couple at least, and now the new event, we have plenty even for the 5K. And I want to thank you for the sign, it's gorgeous, I saw
Oh,
it.
you're welcome.
Very, very nice, you did a great job, thank you so much for that, Linda.
Very nice.
And that's
It's
it,
a
we're all,
great spot
we're all
to put
set.
it, too.
Yeah.
Pardon me?
Under the pavilion like that.
Yeah.
Yes,
'Cause it's out of the way, but
Yeah,
at
I
the same
think it's really
time,
nice.
people are in the
Notice
park.
it up there.
yes.
The people,
and
your
the-
target audience is who you're hitting with that, which is
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, which, I mean, it proves to be popular that a lot of people have said that, that's where they've seen it for the first time or whatever. We should probably get one that might say more about what Tuesdays in the Park is. Because it just has a little blow-up decal, and it says for more information, call the office, so just
But
a
it's,
thought.
still- but it's nice with the dates, gives people a heads up, so that
Yeah.
was nice. So
But yeah, no, I think it's a good idea, a
All the dates.
quick description of each of the Tuesday and what the main activities are.
Yeah, so maybe we could try
Yeah.
that next.
But how would
before
that,
then.
would it have to be like peel off decals or something,
Probably
letters?
just need a new
Yeah.
one because
I mean, because it changes every year, right?
the
So,
dates do, yeah.
or what you're having, what it's gonna be. right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you want to put in exact detail, I mean, just, you can write down children activities
Yeah.
and occasionally inflatables, because there usually are inflatables, we have inflatable every time. But there
Right.
has been in the past where we had the climbing tower and we had the nature center, so it was an
Yeah.
inflatable. But it just depends what RAP is offering that year.
Right, because I mean, we could
So-
just put children's games, popcorn, snow cones.
It's just children's, yeah, fun,
You know,
fun
just-
activities for children,
Yeah, yeah, so,
is what I think it might be enough without.
or,
going expensive.
everything's free or something,
Yeah.
but yeah.
But it's,
Okay.
yeah, but we're all set for supplies and we'll be ready to go. We're all set. I checked
I
out.
was gonna ask you something now, but I forgot what it was.
Sorry.
It's all right. It says release funds. Is there, do we need?
I don't need funds released, no, because I
Oh.
just turn in receipts as I need them. I
Yeah.
don't like buying things too far in advance.
Yeah.
And basically it's ice every time and.
Are you
No,
gonna
we have
use
syrups
We have
and-
enough
So
of
we
everything.
have funds released from for this fiscal year still, but we will need to release them for like the August and the July event.
Right, and there's the
So-
payment to the Oakland County Parks, but they handle that
No, they're
upstairs,
free.
and that's
No,
already,
Oakland County's free.
oh, I thought we had to pay.
Supplies are minimum. I mean,
Oh,
That's part of the, that's
have
part of the
another
grant.
office.
If you're not
Oh,
a part of it,
okay.
or if you want extra time, then you gotta pay them.
So, well, we're all set.
So we can, yeah, I guess we can just wait till.
yeah, until we start having
Till
events.
June,
Okay.
and then it'll release to the, yeah, because it'll work out on the calendar.
Dog show?
Everything seems to be falling into place. We're gonna do it a little bit differently this year with our grand champion last year. He's actually gonna come back with his dog, do a little performance, and then actually be one of our guest judges. So it kind of gives other people opportunities to like, hold a title for 2025. A lot of the same sponsors. I talked to Penny Lake, they're on board again. Pet Supplies Plus is donating again. The gals at the groomer are donating again. Dairy Twist will be involved. I'll make a new sponsor sign this year. And then the only thing I was kind of having issues with was if anybody knows how I could get a hold of Fred Meisner.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'd like to potentially have him as a guest judge, as we did the Citizen of the Year last year as a guest judge. The other judge will end up being one of the two gals from the dog groomer on Venstein. So a lot of people use them, and we had talked about it last year, they didn't get to be involved, but I think I gave them enough heads up this year that
Nice.
they're able to plan for it. We have plenty of things left over from last year. The stickers that we used for the participants to wear with their names, their dog names. I think we're just gonna look over the
goodie
score
bags.
sheet again. We'll do the goodie bags again for every participant. Same check-in, the online registration's open, same price. But yeah, other than that, I feel like everything we did last year, I was pretty happy with, being able to talk about it.
Yep.
And we're just gonna move forward. I think we are gonna do concessions again, if Molly's available and willing to do it. But yeah, that's about it, that's all I got. The only thing would be getting a hold of Fred to ask him if he's available.
Did we have a photographer last year?
We did have somebody,
Yeah.
wasn't
Oh,
it
Monique.
your?
Was
Monique there?
No, it was somebody
No,
else.
it was
a-
somebody's friend.
It was my friend.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
But then Diane was taking videos and pictures and kind of asked her to move out of her
Oh.
way. So
Oh.
she just went to the back
Yeah.
and didn't take any more pictures. But Diane didn't know that she was asked, I guess, I don't know. But Diane was, like up close and personal with, because she knew a lot of people, so. But, yeah, as long as they get posted, it doesn't really matter who takes them.
Yeah, I
As
mean,
long as
I
someone's
took a
taking
lot
them
and posted
and we
it
get to post them
too.
online,
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I'll start posting again, once we get done with the 5K to kind of like let people know what's next. And,
There was a
also
flyer.
post those, photos online as well, so people can see what fun. I do have a few, flyers left if anybody has any spots that they'd like to take one. I don't know how much we did last year though.
I don't either.
300
Do you,
bucks or
do you
something
take
like
it to
that?
the local veterinarian clinics?
No, I have not, but that's a good
Oh,
idea.
yeah, I'll
Um,
get those up this year. I had
Last
them on my list
year-
and I never made it to them, but I think they're a great source to, I mean, I don't know what they would
They might put
get.
it up, they might
but,
not.
Yeah. They could think of something.
All I have last year is that we had a $200 budget.
Well, then that's what we
Yeah.
released.
Okay.
I'll release 200.
Yeah.
And did we spend it on?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I doubt
We
it.
had so much donated.
We got
Yeah.
like banners and stuff too last year. You even bought like a banner last year with that.
Yeah,
so-
I did,
So
yeah.
200, probably plenty then, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
you're probably right, yeah.
Yeah.
We did our own signage and
Mhm.
everything, the concessions and that.
Yeah, and I did the sponsorship sign. I just asked to be reimbursed for the board that I used, but I gotta redo it this year because we had a mishap with it last year. So I'm just gonna put it up a little bit higher.
Is that what you're calling
A little
it?
bit higher off the
So
ground.
no puppies. So, yeah. So I guess, ask permission to release 200.
We released, just so you know, we did release
Oh,
300
right.
last year.
Say that again,
We
Marcus.
did 300 last
Oh,
year.
we did. Oh,
So
don't
we
need
released it,
300.
but yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so. You
I don't
see
either.
really
All right.
buying
Can I get a
into
motion
it.
to release $200 for,
I'll make a motion to release $200 for the dog show.
Second.
roll call, please?
Struck,
Yes.
Edmund,
Yes.
Girabedi,
Yes.
Longbridge.
Yes?
Kirko,
Yes.
McKay,
Yes.
Schwartz,
Yes.
and Monk.
Yes. Yeah, because you have the link of whatever yeah.
Summer garage sale?
See how the spring garage sale
Skip
goes
the
before
spring one
I
first.
dive into that.
Fishing contest.
It is happening.
I have added,
Next month, I will start talking with Ted and getting everything arranged and sorted and ready to go. And then I'll also, again, bring up the plausibility of an ice fishing contest and get his thoughts and pick his brain on that. That's all.
did you just said, were you going to do certificates again this year?
Yes, we are gonna do certificates. I'm gonna work with Tabitha to get them to where they're year neutral, year agnostic, I don't know what the term is, but get it to where it's just a certificate and then we can fill in the year and then have it auto-signed so that we don't have to sign them anymore. And we can just hand them out, so that they're digitally signed
Yeah.
instead.
Okay. Oh, I was going to ask, has there been a flyer for Tuesdays in the Park? don't
I
remember if
believe so,
saw-
I don't know, I haven't seen, like I
No,
said,
I
I
don't
don't
think
get
she's
the village emails.
sent it out yet. There hasn't been one sent out yet.
Yeah.
But there's
You'll
so
probably wait
much
until after the dog
stuff
show.
in the, right now, there's so
I
much
mean,
stuff
after
in
the
rotation.
5K.
5K? Okay.
So I think that's why.
Okay. Anything on, did you guys have a corn roast meeting?
Yes,
We did. Fun.
Okay, I can do, yeah, so we all have assignments, and I'll start. I did order the chairs already, and the tables, and the generator, and I discussed with the events planner for the
Auburn.
inflatables. There is a new one, but I think I need to get approval and get your thought on it. It's big, it's got all different kinds of things to do. It's like 35 feet by 40 feet.
Wow.
And it's brand new. But last year, we paid $699 for the long obstacle course, and this one's $900. So I didn't want to go ahead and approve it for something that's $200 more than a year ago. I mean, it might be nice. I mean, I just only saw the picture of it. But she says we actually have until July, August for it. It's not that it's going to be taken probably, but all the main things are ready to go, at least for my end of that. So it's, I don't know, it's something to think about if we want to spend a couple extra $100 for a new inflatable.
Yeah, it sounds like it's big enough that it's,
It sounds fun. There's different things you can, each side, you come in, and there's slides on it, and so it sounds fun, but I was telling Mark about it. I don't have the best concept of feet, 35 feet by 40 feet, so I don't know, like, where it's going to fit in
Will
the
it
house.
fit by the,
yeah, we can find a spot
We can
for it.
always find a spot.
I mean, that's the size of a small house. I
and
mean,
there was somebody that manned it? I just wonder about it being bigger.
Well, we usually have the National Honor Society kids are the ones in the past.
Yeah, I
have
just
always
remember a
made it.
couple years
So
ago
the
when I
obstacle
had to keep
course-
going over because kids were pushing kids off the top.
Yeah,
It must have been a
kids are
while ago, because
great.
we've had
Yeah.
people there every year now.
Yeah, there were supposed to be kids there and there
I mean,
wasn't.
there's been a fair amount, more and more people, village people seem to be volunteering too. And yeah,
Well,
we
it's
can
like,
take turns. so
the
you guys
kids
sit
were
there.
at the front and this was all going on at the end. That's why I worry about it being bigger.
Well, the obstacle course, if the same one that I'm looking at on their website, is 56 by 12.
So it was just long and narrow.
Super long,
So this is
yeah.
more of a big square.
Right.
Okay.
Is it on the website
I
or no?
haven't seen
Oh,
it yet.
okay.
And it is
That's what-
available
yeah,
for
'cause
like before,
I'm
for
assuming
even
it's huge.
150, more pounds, just like the older kids can get on it.
Oh, okay.
Because, the National Honor Society kids were sitting on it. They were in
Yeah, yeah.
the obstacles.
They
so-
sit on they would sit on the top of it so that the kids
make
would
sure
hang
kids
up
were
there.
going
Because kids
through.
would just sit up there and and then they'd push each other off.
Yeah.
So they would help the small kids up and they'd shove down those
Well, I'll see if I
annoying
can go,
kids.
I can see if I can go
That
back
worked
and
out
get a
really well.
picture of it and see what you guys think, and we can look at it. I mean, like I said, we have plenty of time. I don't know if anybody else has any updates with their little section.
Well, the unique ponies,
That's
he said
crazy.
he'd give it to us, the pony rides and the pay, for the same price. Though he's like, you sure you don't want to get the train? That's why I sent everybody the video of the train. I didn't think it was much when I looked at it.
Yeah.
I don't know how
Well,
you're
how
gonna
much
sell me
is
over
it?
on
He-
that
he
one.
didn't say how
If you'd have
much.
showed people riding on it and everybody,
We are, and if they're going to be riding horses and
Yeah.
ponies, do we need them to also ride?
and I'm like,
train?
where are they gonna put the train?
Yeah,
where
because
there's
it looks
not
like it needs to be on
traffic?
hard surface
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, I'd say no on the train.
So I found the course that they're talking about. I'm
Oh.
assuming it's the Inflatable Ultimate Challenge Obstacle Course. It is 35 by 27 by 19. It
If I can
is,
see a picture of it.
it is involved.
Now, does it
More
say
complicated
the
than
younger
that.
kids can be on it, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks a lot like it, if I remember right.
It's 19, it's the same
Nice.
price, so.
Oh,
It
but
was
yeah, they said it was 35 by
900
40. So like I said, I'll see if I can get a picture of it.
It's $900.
But it
so-
will be $200. So. And they will bring everything on Friday night like they did in the past. It's already been confirmed.
It's wild.
I don't know the next time if we meet, a meeting in June or not, or if we should wait until July to have another corn roast meeting.
Well, Molly suggested having one in June, but it's up to you guys, what you want to do.
If we do it, I mean, like, kind of like before, the week before our regular meeting here.
So our 16th is our regular meeting.
Yeah, so it'd be the 9th?
Well, I won't be here, I'll be
Well, that's
out of
even
town,
awful
so
soon.
I
That seems
can't.
way
see.
too, no, it's a
It's in 2
busy
weeks.
time of the,
Yeah.
push that out.
What, 3 weeks?
I don't know,
Don't we also have a blood drive on the 9th?
We do, thank you.
So that wouldn't work,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
I can talk to Molly, and we can always do some, but otherwise, we can always just kind of discuss like we are now. I mean, most of
Yeah,
us have our assignments.
always- well, we can
And we
always-
could just do an update of what everybody individually is
And since
supposed to do.
all of her suggestions were for after the 16th, so if we can meet on the 16th, and if we determine then that we need to
Yeah,
have another
I think
meeting,
that would work
we can do
fine.
it that way.
Why don't we do that? We'll wait until the meeting.
Okay. So
Okay, that's it then.
The cornhole tournament then, we said is moving to the basketball court?
I think it's a great
That's
idea.
great.
So it can be seen or
Purchasing
closer.
some of that off. But I'd
Plus it'll
also
be
like to
solid.
get the flyer sooner. I'd like to get it out sooner than maybe the corn roast, because we don't have to register for the corn roast, but I really, I mean, and I said this last year, I'm really trying to get it full. I haven't been able to achieve a full
Okay.
tournament yet. So there's just other places been recommended for me to post it, like at other bars and recreation areas that have cornhole tournaments.
Farmers Market's a great place to post it too,
Okay.
so you, I mean,
So, yeah, so if, I could even just like get some of those stick in the yard signs or something that we could put them in, get a price for those maybe. But my idea is to start advertising that a little earlier
It's a good idea.
than what we do with corn roast, so. As it gets closer, I'll let you know, but.
Are there other areas, I
Okay,
mean, because
doing-
you've done so much research on it, where there's already tournaments, and maybe we
Yes.
can advertise at those tournaments?
Yeah, well, we really, we would love to have it local, obviously, but that was the suggestion with the couple of teams that came last year. They actually play tournaments, and they told me they could fill it up just like that if I just gave them notice, so I took the guy's name down.
did you put it at the, or we couldn't have last year. You can see if the GI will hang it somewhere.
Maybe we need to make sure, like, have a sign ready for our Tuesdays in the Park. Have it at all our other events. The 5K, the Tuesdays in the Park, the dog show, to get it because these
Always-
are the villagers
yeah,
that are
always-
coming.
Yeah, and always bring flyers to those events of whatever
Right,
we have
but I
coming
mean,
up.
maybe like you're saying, a stick-in sign, like
Mm.
Diane has for the directions for the 5K. But if we advertise it at all our events that we have every month, that's where the village people
Right.
come from. That might
And
get.
we could hang more banners on the pavilion out there if we wanted to put up the banner prior to the event. Like, we could put up the dog show banner. But the only thing that does is generate calls or people looking on the websites to register, and the office isn't ready for that yet. You know what I mean? So they can't have many, I don't know.
Even just make them a corn event, cornhole event at the corn roast, make people aware of it.
Mhm, yeah.
Put your team together now. Details to follow,
Okay.
something like that.
I mean, we know the date, but other than that, I
Yeah.
could leave all the other
But I
information
mean,
out
that
for
just,
now.
why not at all
As
our
far as
events?
registering.
Because
Yeah.
that way we get more,
Well,
the
we-
villager.
But
for
we
the
don't have
residents.
flyers ready to have it at all our events,
No.
right? So I don't know how.
Well,
quickly-
not yet, but
Yeah.
I'm thinking about doing them outside of
Yeah.
the office, because they
Yeah.
have a lot to catch up, you know what I mean? There's a lot of events, so
Mhm.
I know they'd be nowhere near
that we already
getting
know.
the cornhole tournament
Yeah.
done. So
Okay.
maybe I could see what I could do about getting them created. Amanda created the dog show one, so it looks really good.
A big picture question about awareness. I went online to the major calendar and looked to see if the 5K was on there, and I don't know that it was. Maybe I missed it, but just the big picture, the calendar, the main calendar seemed to not have that event. Do we put the events on the main calendar? And then also, what about the sign at the corner up here? Do we highlight events on that?
On
Yeah.
the electronic sign.
Yeah, we had the 5K on
Yeah.
on that one.
Okay, that's on there.
That will
I
rotate.
certainly just could have missed it, but the
Yeah.
calendar on the website, I don't know that it had,
On the main, on the first, on the main.
the first
yeah,
page.
that's usually the only thing that they put up on there is meetings
okay.
and with the agendas. But it's not a bad suggestion at all to suggest, hey, can we have a link so that people can look at the calendars? And now, the website's also going through an upgrade, or it's going to have an upgrade, so it might,
Oh,
maybe it'll be more
Yeah.
user-friendly than it currently is, and can have more of those features.
Yeah, you have to go
Because
to
in general,
events.
Right.
It wouldn't be a
Yeah.
bad thing to have on the Park and Rec page, just a list of our, hey,
all of
here's the,
the
because we scheduled it all in February, March. Have it, just a list of here's what we've got, here's what's coming up in
coming
2025.
soon.
I knew what I was
Yeah.
looking for, and I had to go to the search and type in 5K to find
Yeah.
the link. Like, I was looking, my main instinct was to go to the calendar, at which it wasn't there. And I'm like, wow, that's surprising, so, an idea.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. Do we have a website person, or is it off, we pay a contract person?
We have a company, and then if we want to add something to the site, Tabitha can do it.
Oh,
I think it's
okay.
Tabitha, or Page, either one.
Oh, okay. so-
But if we're talking more broad, or, like, so whenever we have a flyer or something, they do put it on the main page, and it's in that cycling, it's rotating. And so it can be one of 8 things, and it's, again, it's not, it doesn't really catch your eye, in the way it's
Right.
currently structured. But yeah, so, but if we want to add things, change things, we can ask. If we want to put up a link to something, they can do that for us too. If we want to start having like
So
a
like
picture page.
on the Parks and Rec page, we could have the link to events or something.
We could just have an events page
Okay.
or something like that. I mean, I can't, I mean, again, though, I think having something on the first page of the Wolverine Lake page, because
Yeah.
how many people are going to dig in?
They're not.
And start going through, I wonder how many visitors the Parks and Rec board page gets in a month. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's 12 and I'm 2 of them, kind of thing. And so, where are people going to go when they're actually wanting to learn about things?
So
We
I-
know that we get a lot of it on the private Facebook page. We
Yeah.
get some of it on the public Facebook page. That's the extent of village social media, really. So where else can we post these things to create awareness
Insta.
in
So-
this era?
So they do have something new. I don't remember this being here before. So you can, circle through here,
Mhm.
Parks and Rec. It says, gotta go back to that. Oh, I hit the wrong one. Hold on. It says register for events. I don't remember seeing that before. Register
That's-
for events.
It's-
And
I
that
don't think
lists
I've ever
everything
seen it
that's
as a
coming
tab.
up.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen that. I mean, I know you can register for things, or,
And then
Online
we
payments.
talked about it too, putting banners, I mean, at all those, where it says, Wolverine Lake, and then you've been planting the flowers, put a banner up, when it's like now for the 5K or our next event, the dog show.
Or at least something that
I
can
was gonna
stick
say,
in
would
the
a
ground.
yard sign be
Yeah.
better? More or
A
less,
what?
would a yard sign, like a,
That
like
might be.
a
might
less
be
obstructive
easier.
with
But
the new
put it
design
under-
of these
Put it right under the Village
signs?
of Wolverine Lake.
Well, right now, Memorial Day, we have the swags underneath there with
Mm.
flags,
Right.
so wouldn't do that for the 5K.
Right.
But I think putting right in the
Because
middle of
that's-
the flower bed, we could put the sign that says 5K event or.
Because that's what I'm kind of thinking, like.
Yeah,
I was
I think
thinking about
the
when I'm
yard sign-
designing things for the farmer's market was, because the banners were designed for the old gravestone kind of things that we had, and Phil had constructed some PVC to frame them. These new signs sit taller and everything else, they don't match up as well for those banners. But maybe just going with a good old fashioned yard sign for,
Yeah, I
like,
think
that you would
they're-
have
they're
for
big
sale.
enough, they'll catch attention.
Would fit in there better.
Because you could put them in a row. I mean, if we had one for every event at the beginning of the year, you could just put them in a row at any event that we have.
Mhm.
That people have to walk down that sidewalk and, see all that's coming. All right,
Good thoughts, thank you.
thank you.
Anything else? We don't have to release any funds, right?
I don't even know where we are in my agenda. Are we on the corn roast? still?
Corn roast.
Yeah, no, we don't need to release funds at this time.
Holiday decorating contest, I think that's, and it's snacks with Santa, and letters to Santa, that's all. Right, waiting on. Is there new and additional events we want to add or look at?
Just the blood drive coming up on June 9th. It is 3:30 to 7:30. We are, bless you, the goal has been reduced from 15 units to 13 due to our disappointing turnout the last two runs that we've had. So we'll
Was
see how this one
3:30, I'm
goes.
sorry, to what?
3:30 to 7:30. Down here.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that one goes.
Is there anything new that you would want to see? No, you.
Not yet.
Pending business, Veterans Memorial.
Not a
You
lot
guys
new
meet?
there. We did clean up and everything. But we did put up a plaque that Onwards and Upwards had bought several, or for a bench that they sponsored several years ago, and finally got the plaque put on. It took a while. I don't know what the problem was, but it's up now. We
And then
still-
are you having something on Memorial Day?
Yeah, so there will be Taps Across America at 3 PM. So it's at 3 PM at memorials all over the country. The Bugler plays taps. For us, it's going to be a village resident who's going to be playing it for us, so that's pretty cool. So if you can be there, that'll be happening.
Any new bricks or?
We haven't ordered anything new, but orders are available. I mean, you can,
Yeah.
we're accepting orders, of course, and everything else. But yeah, we cleaned it up, we replaced a boxwood that had died. That's the only thing that we lost over the winter. Looks pretty good.
Claire Miller Park playground equipment?
Not a lot to talk about there yet. I know we've got those spinners that we're ready to put in at some point, but we're still waiting on, I think, well, Dave kind of was with us at the walkthrough, kind of mentioned, we're pretty much got approval at this point from the DNR, but it's just kind of
Official.
crossing those final Ts and all that kind of stuff. And then once that's going, we'll give a call to our installer to have those last two pieces put in.
The BMX track, I see there were signs put up.
So yeah, 3 signs were put up emphasizing that no motorized vehicles are allowed. In terms of some of the questions that were brought to us at the last meeting, just so you guys are aware, our engineer explained that Eagle has approved, the DNR, Eagle, the other entities, government entities, have said there is no concerns for asphalt in like seepage or anything like that into the ground or anything like that, no harm to the trees. Our administrator did inquire about our insurance, with our insurance company, and we'll make sure that they're aware of it when we go for renewal. Another thing, just walking by it several times now and addressing some of the concerns that folks have is just a consideration that to throw out, I'm just gonna throw it out here first, was to maybe consider some kind of like split post fencing, sort of like what we have along Benstein. If you, because one of the concerns that some of the residents have brought up is that people on their motorized bikes will zip in, do a couple runs, and then zip out, and there's no way a cop can catch them unless they're sitting there. So this would kind of manage ingress and egress of that space. It would keep a natural look. It wouldn't be very costly. So
I like that.
just kind of, I'm going to talk to the chief about it and our administrator about it too, but I just wanted to throw it out to you guys first.
So were you thinking fencing it on both Woodlawn and Brisbane?
Yeah, that was, I mean, I was kind of fiddling with it and just
Yeah.
playing with a map online
Yeah.
and seeing how long, how much, how much linear feet you would need and all that kind of stuff. And to do that and then even run it to a third side, it'd be about 750 feet. Because I was thinking
But
along
in front
the-
of like where the walkway is there?
Yeah, I kind of, that was less appealing just because of where the actual BMX is and then the nature of the space. You want it to be, but if you kind of cut the two roadsides off, I think that would make a big difference. And then along perhaps the side where the residences are, adding some arborvitae or something to create a natural fence. So not only to affect visibility, but also sound a little bit. So just trying to think of ways to make it more pleasant for everybody out there while keeping it in good shape. Because when folks are, those motorized bikes just put more stress on it than it needs, or that it's made for.
So is there any call for like maintenance on that track eventually?
Not
is it-
significant,
Oh, so we're just going to allow it to be,
but then we're
As it
gonna.
wears down.
We are gonna, I mean,
Oh.
like in terms of, in the short term or in the intermediate term, adding grass and things to the sides and everything else will help to strengthen and firm up the dirt
Okay.
and keep it from eroding and breaking down. It's kind of, obviously without a water source there,
Yeah.
and hydro seeding being probably the best method, we would probably want to wait till the fall to do that. But if you've walked by it or driven by it recently, the grass has started to come in really nicely because we've had some pretty good moisture.
Yeah.
So that should help it on its own, to help secure it and everything else. And generally in that space, one thing you will have to do on a semi-regular basis is just go around and pick up stone or ground up asphalt chunks that have come out every now and then, just to keep it a little less, a little safer.
Yeah.
But overall, there's not a lot of maintenance to it, other than keeping growth from getting into the main track.
okay. Moving on, liaison reports, planning?
Yeah, we had an April Planning Commission meeting. We held our public hearing on our amendment to the zoning ordinance for daycare educational school use in RM1. We finalized the language on that and sent that on to council, recommended approval, which I understand they did, and we're moving forward, so this Behavior for All organization can set up there in the church and get going pretty soon. In fact, they're coming Thursday to our Planning Commission meeting with a site plan for us to review and approve, so. It's a great program for kids on the autism spectrum that will be a great location for them,
Yeah.
and, yeah, that's all moving forward, so it's
Okay.
all good.
Council?
Had a long meeting last Wednesday. We were introduced to our new co-responder. This is the social worker who now works with our police department in situations where people might not need, or might have been in a legal situation, but also need help on the other side of things. So we were introduced to Turner Smith, who worked in Colorado and in Kansas PDs, so he's got plenty of experience and is already in assisting residents who need help in that realm. We paid for some bills for the work on the BMX track. Our paver will be coming out in the next few weeks to repair the bad spots that we found in the new paving that were not done to snuff, or that have maybe some issues with drainage or what have you, and they're gonna add swales and things like that to those areas. So that's gonna be done. Also, just as a response to one of our other visitors, or members of public from last month, Mr. Rentner, who came out and wanted to move some things around and all that, it was confirmed that it was, our BMX, the plan was reviewed by the president of the BMX Association of Michigan. So that was there, but they will be meeting, our engineer Mike Powell and our administrator Dave Gillum will be meeting with Mr. Retner at the park, at the BMX track, just to discuss the layout and see if there is some slight modifications that we'd want to do. Obviously, we're not using this for major competitions or anything, so if we want to personalize it for our community,
Yeah, but
it's
'cause
certainly doable.
Yeah,
my
that
friend
looked
was
good
an
to me, I mean.
ex-BMX, but he's like, oh no, this is made, But of course, that was, 25 years ago, maybe things have changed, like you said,
Oh.
the national, that's what he said to me, oh yeah, this isn't, he thought it was more for dirt bikes when he first saw it too. But I mean, he's older, right?
Uh-huh.
So 40s maybe, back then, it didn't look
Yeah.
like it does now.
No idea what the standard
Yeah.
was. We also approved some funds for spring plants for beautification. Some pavement striping is being done. Andy every year has striping done on one side of the village, and then the next year, the other, kind of keeps it balanced out. It's a little more this year because we did have some extra paving in areas where we needed new striping. So as you go around the village, you might see them out there getting some new outlines put in and everything else. We had an Eagle Scout come to the meeting, a young man named Carmine Marshall, who was looking to do community gardens in a section off of Winghampton. There is an old abandoned road ending over in that area. So it's Dunreath, Winghampton, those roads, which are off of like Penny Lake Road, Wolverine Drive, those areas. And you would know. Cody.
Exactly.
I know
It's
exactly.
in Cody's,
I say, where is it?
Cody's backwoods kind of thing.
Yeah, it's, so, yeah, like you
Between
said, it's
Ladd
off
and-
of,
yeah.
yeah, it's between Ladd and Penny Lake and all that in there, so.
But there's some abandoned road endings there from who knows how long that have just kind of sat there. And he'd like to put in a community garden there. So he came out for his Eagle Scout project, so he came out and proposed it. And we did ask him to go out and make sure that the surrounding neighbors are cool with it before he proceeds. And so I don't know if you guys have seen, his mom posted a Facebook request. They've gone out, they're getting feedback, everything else. There are some concerns about water and things like that and how that will work. But as we saw online, there's a lot of people who think it's a great idea. So we'll see how that works out. But they're going to be 20 by, I think, 4, and he's going to do 6 of them.
Oh, wow.
So
Cool.
there'll be a fairly decent amount of beds for folks to get involved and get their hands in the dirt, assuming everything goes to plan. What else? As you guys may have seen online, there was a discussion about upgrades to the sound system in this room. That was rejected. For now, we've actually requested that our administrator go out for additional quotes. The quote was for about $18,000. We've received a lot of complaints. Today's been nice because the HVAC isn't on, so you guys
Yeah.
over here can hear us over here
Yes.
pretty easily, and the compressor on the water fountain hasn't turned on at all either, which has helped too. But we've also had complaints from viewers at home, viewers in the audience, and our recording secretaries have had trouble at times hearing us speak. So there was a need, it was felt to improve the system and what we've got, but because of the price and everything else, we're going out to see if we can get a better number, or do we need everything that was in that offer? We had a reading for a second reading and adopted the ordinance to amend our way that we sell personal property of the village. So now we can do it online instead of just having to go out and get the silent bids, which really limited our audience and our market. And then we did the first reading for the Shepherds of the Lakes Church to allow them to get the process of allowing for this education to be offered at the church.
Yeah, and it'll allow all churches, once it's established, to be able to have daycare in the church as a secondary function. So it's more than just Shepherd of the Lakes,
Yeah.
that they could benefit, yeah.
We officially named me as the farmer's market coordinator, so lucky me. We went to a closed session for a little bit, and then we also discussed the water quality of the Penny Lake Pump House. There's been some concerns there about the amount of iron in the water, so we're going to have Andy, Andy went out and got some information, and then we've asked him to go ahead and talk to some companies about feasibility studies about having a much broader overhaul of the filtration, because there isn't really a filtration system really, but what that might look like. We are we scheduled a special meeting for June 4th for some concerns on Ventura Drive. And then we discussed some council committee assignment policies that were sent back to the subcommittee for that to re-review. And then in other news, Commerce Township has become frustrated a little bit with Oakland County, and there's been a lot of increases on prices for things that we contract with them, including assessing. So, of course, we have an assessor who comes out, checks the values of our properties, of our houses, that's how taxes and everything go. So our administrator was involved with Commerce on interviewing some private companies, and they did settle on a new company that will be our new assessor. So it was much cheaper, because we use the same assessor, of course. So that'll be happening. And they also may be looking at that for the Water Resource Commission, and whether or not the village would continue with them in Commerce Township. And that would be for your sanitary sewers and things like that, maintenancing of those things. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, we had that, we had a closed session, and we had quite a bit of audience in public, so it was a fun meeting. It was a long meeting. So, yeah.
Quick comment on the sound topic.
Sure.
So I've heard the water cooler fountain go off numerous times. If that's half the root cause, I'll bet that replacing that with a quiet unit would be
Yeah.
cheaper than redoing all of the sound. I thought, if that's half the root cause, you mentioned that there's, HVAC, which I've not heard, obviously.
Yeah, we're not running the air conditioning.
You'll know
right
when
now,
it's
but-
on.
Yeah.
Anyway, that may not
Yeah.
solve the issue, but it's a thought that there would be 18 grand. I'm
Yeah,
sure
so
that
could
could be
be,
replaced cheaper
you
with
know,
a cheap unit, with a quiet unit.
$1,000 fix as opposed to wherever it might be,
Yeah.
as opposed to, yeah, absolutely. Good suggestion.
But it's also a matter, is this 25-year-old system just due to be replaced anyway, the
Yeah.
technology and everything that,
I think that's one of the questions, is how long is it, if you had somebody look at it, how much longer is it gonna last? Is it in its last years, or is it, yeah, it's in great shape, it's still kicking, and as long as it can interface with how we do our meetings and share them online and so forth, there's nothing wrong with sticking with it. And if there's a cheaper alternative than to the broad system that was proposed, then maybe that's the route to go until it does kick out. And then, yeah. I mean, obviously, this room's acoustics it really was not the focus of this room when they designed it. But, yeah, are there more financially efficient alternatives that we can do and still get the same result? Or at least a result that's close to, because we aren't shooting movies down here or something like that. So, but yeah, we'll keep looking into it, and hopefully we'll get something back in the next meeting that has some good options.
Any comments from board members? I'd like to thank Dean for joining us.
So my formal name is Donald, but since birth I've gone by Dean, and I saw Donald in the notes, so to prevent confusion, it probably makes sense to mark me down as Dean.
so Dean was here. Well, that's what, you got that right on your sign.
Yeah.
Your name sign.
I just saw
You
it
got that
in
right.
print, it says Donald somewhere, I noticed.
Oh, yeah, at the top.
Oh, yeah, there it is, yeah.
Yeah, just a reminder for everybody, the golf outing for the John Coxier Classic, the fireworks fundraiser, is coming up in June. And the
June
lake
7th, I
rally,
think.
correct,
Yep.
thank you. And then the lake rally, the week after that, the next Saturday is also, tickets are for sale there. You can go to onupcef.org if you're interested in getting tickets for that. And then on another note, I just wanted to say, a gentleman named Jim Lambertson, you guys may not know him, he was one of our regular vendors at the Corn Roast. He sold the UP Upper Peninsula Stone jewelry and things like that. Passed away about a week ago. Just want to give my condolences to his family. He was going to be a vendor for the farmers market as well. So it was really sad to hear he passed away. He was a fixture at the Walled Lake Farmers Market. If you ever went, he was always the first one on the right when you enter the entrance. So he was a really nice guy and a great, always reliable for all the events and things like that. But that's all I got.
All right, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. We'll see everybody Saturday morning.
Saturday morning, bright and early.
Wait, what do you mean, Sarah?